about to get into the Frankie facts. And yeah, I don't want to freak out, Chris. I really don't. But I mean, I did like there were a couple good things. I did like the De'Aaron. I like Mad De'Aaron. I do enjoy that. You know, we saw a nice slam dunk from him, and that was good. But besides that, there just wasn't a ton of good. And we'll get to the facts that maybe were and weren't good right here. It is time for Frankie's facts.
Let's do it. Shout out our guy Frankie Carnicelli. You can read his post-game recaps. I believe Frankie, actually, we're switching it up this year, if I'm not mistaken. We'll double-check when we do the roundtable again. But I believe Frankie's doing home games and Brendan is doing road games. So might do some Brendan facts or, I don't know, Brendan bars or something. Maybe we could figure out some alliteration for that. Yeah, maybe we can have you, like, freestyle what Brendan –
Or he can. He's a rapper.
That's why you're here. Got the
Him
big
and Emil.
ideas. There we go. We got DJ Bedhead back there.
DJ Bedhead.
Come on.
Yeah.
Get ready for the album by the end of the year.
Wow.
Like a
Perfect.
That's like his mustard on the beach.
Yeah, exactly.
He'll eat the table.
Whoa!
All right.
Oh, man. Frankie Facts, we have missed you. Here we go. Again, you can read the post-game recaps over on SactownSports.com after every single Sacramento Kings game this season, including the preseason. And Keegan Murray has had a strong start to this preseason. Let's start with the positive. We can get to the negative. We know what the negative is. Let's focus on the positive. Frankie writes, those who felt the signing of DeMar DeRozan would hurt the development of Keegan Murray should feel some relief this preseason as the third-year forward continues to play a solid brand of basketball. Frankie writes, one game removed from a 17.5 steal performance against the Golden State Warriors on Friday, Murray quickly got involved in the Kings offense by leading all scorers with 10 in the first half. The two-way threat also continued to be a plus on the defensive end. Again, 5 steals on Friday, added 2 more last night or yesterday, I guess, as that game was in the middle of the day, swiping 2 steals over his first 16 minutes of game time. The Iowa product concluded his night with 10 points, 5 of 10 from the field, 3 rebounds, 1 assist, and 2 steals over 28 minutes. Through 3 preseason games so far, Murray has not regressed to the spot-up or nothing threat that he was during his rookie season. Instead of sinking into the background as a 5th option, he is finding his window for self-creation opportunities, and that's what Sacramento needs from the forward on a nightly basis to apply pressure to opposing defenses. Next, let's just touch on some of the bad. The 3-point defense continues to be a problem for the Kings this preseason. Portland shook off a rusty start from deep by opening up the second half, which they were up for what it's worth. Like you said, in those first preseason games, we talked a lot about, it doesn't matter. Actually, if you look at it, the Kings starters actually outscored the Warriors starters and bench in the first half. Yeah, we couldn't say that this time, as Portland was up with their, not even full cast. Forget the players that didn't play. Sure. Chauncey Billups was busy getting inducted into the Hall of Fame. So they didn't even have their head coach there yesterday.
Yeah.
And the Blazers were up at halftime. They drilled 4 of their first 9 attempts in that second half. They finished the third quarter 7 of 15, 46% from 3, extending that third quarter lead to 18 points en route to the Kings being outscored in that third quarter 30-18. And again, just preseason, but you just don't like to see those kind of things, especially against an opponent, the quality or lack of quality of the Portland Trail Blazers. But let's move back onto the positive as Jordan McLaughlin made his Sacramento King debut. Upon checking in, the veteran guard quickly asserted himself, scoring 5 points in his first 4 minutes of playing, while also finding Domantas Sabonis in transition for an assist. The USC product, not DeMar. And, we got another one too, don't we? It's DeMar and Boogie Ellis. That's right. The USC product, that being Jordan McLaughlin, finished his first preseason appearance with 10 points, 4 of 6 shooting, 2 of 3 from 3, to go along with 2 rebounds, 2 assists, and a steal over 18 minutes. Frankie writes, McLaughlin, who has taken care of the basketball during his time in the NBA, 4.4 assist to turnover ratio, which is insane. That is incredibly elite. Will likely be Sacramento's backup point guard come opening night, as rookie Devin Carter, as we know, with his shoulder, works his way back towards a return. We saw a lot of one Mason Jones getting those first quarter minutes. That was not the case yesterday, as the Kings were a little bit, just a skosh, just like a little pinch of salt healthier for yesterday's preseason game. And here's some just throwaway notes. After going 13 for 46, 28% from three in Friday's game in San Francisco, and 7 of 27 in their first preseason game against the Warriors here at Golden One Center, the Kings turned in yet another poor performance from deep, finishing 5 of 28. That's 18%. So for those tracking at home, the 3 preseason games from deep for the Sacramento Kings, they shot 28%, 26%, and then yesterday shot 18%. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I can tell you that's last in the NBA. Domantas Sabonis finished last night with 9 points, 8 rebounds, and 7 assists over 30 minutes. Sounds good, right? Well, he also turned the ball over 5 times and looked like he was playing NBA 2K, like an online game where he was just like, I'm just here to put up stats and don't really care. I don't really have much investment into the game, and, let's be a little loose with it. It's preseason, but definitely felt like Sabonis didn't quite have the ball on a string yesterday. De'Aaron Fox, he scored 11 points, grabbed 7 boards last night, although he dealt with foul trouble on his Mason Jones. Mason Jones didn't get much. I don't know if Mason played yesterday, but I think he checked in later in the game. But De'Aaron was on his Mason Jones as he had 5 fouls in just 28 minutes. Mason, of course, had a ton of fouls. I think he fouled out in that Golden State game on Wednesday. Sacramento turned over the ball 26 times. Talk about getting that Golden State DNA in you. Sacramento turned the ball over 26 times on Sunday. Those 26 turnovers turned into 33 points for the Blazers, who were incredibly effective in transition, being that young team that they are. So not great. But if you're looking for silver linings or things to at least try and take from a loss, always check out Frankie Cardicelli or Brendan Nunez's post-game recaps over on SactownSports.com. Great website.
Where are you at? Do you care? Are you worried that the Sabonis? Look, be careful what you wish for. And I know a lot of Kings fans were asking for Sabonis to shoot the middies, not necessarily the threes. Yeah. Where are you at on you can't just sell it after 6 missed threes, but on Friday, Domantas Sabonis missed all 3 of his threes. Yeah. Sunday, he did the same thing. Where are you at with this experiment, if you will? Not that it's not a crazy experiment, but do you not mind it? Because here's the thing, there's 2 more games left, right? You said most of the time they won't play the last game, so they have essentially 1 more game to get this taste out of their mouth. Where are you at with the 3-point experiment?
I think it's fine for now. I don't have a problem with the ones he's taken. He is wide open on them. Yeah. So as long as he's wide open, taking them, his feet are set, everything looks fine. I'm okay with it. But obviously, if he's going to be going 0 for 3 on most nights, it's just not going to end up being worth it. Obviously, you would rather have a make than just have him missing threes for the sake of taking them. Yeah. It's fine for now. I think he'll be mid-30s, and we'll just kind of – I don't think I'll ever be great with it, but as long as he's wide open, I really can't fault it. I think that's the point of running your offense is to get open looks, and if that's the open look you get, it's not that Sabonis is incapable of hitting that shot. It really obviously isn't where you would ideally like him taking his shots from. It's definitely a win for the defense. That's the part where I just don't know if I can get over, because just fundamentally it feels like doesn't matter what sport you play. If you're doing something that the opposing team is like, yeah, we're okay if Domantas Sabonis hits 5 threes today and that's how we lose. Okay, right. Go ahead, do it again. Yeah, we'll chalk it up as it was your night, and we'll see if you can do it tomorrow. I'm sure there's similar things you could list like that in baseball. Obviously, in football, there's tons of things where it's like, hey, if if the Raiders are going to throw 350 yards on us, well, then I guess that's just good on them, and you got to chalk it up to that. But that's kind of how I feel about it. It's fine for now. As long as he's open, I don't really have a problem with it. But, yeah, if he's going to put in a ton of 0 for 3 performances, I guess maybe you have to reconsider at some point.
Yeah, well, it just gets – the reason I ask is because, we're essentially running out of time. So do you take the experiment into the regular season, which I think you probably do, and then at that point it's just tough because you work on something, but then you're just going to revert back to what you're comfortable doing. So I would, the midi that we saw in the first game, stuff like that, I think everybody is good with. The threes they'll come and go. From the 209 Warriors play-by-play called it best. It's a bonus. He is shooting threes. He is 23 feet away from the basket.
Oh, yeah.
Why would we want that?
Yeah.
Why would the Kings want that? But, when you're trying to figure out your bag and the point is when you're that wide open, we believe you can make the shot.
Yeah.
And if you make one of the shots, then they have to eventually respect you. But, if you're not going to make them, then no.
It's a useless exercise.
It's a useless – you have to make – one of the first two, because at that point it should be like this, Chris. If you miss the first two, just shut it down.
Yeah.
Because throughout the game, you're not going to get anybody to pull out anyway, because they're going to say, "Well, you've already missed it."
Yeah. And if you make the next one, then that one was the lucky one.
Right. You should run the option, and if you make the first one, you act accordingly. From Patrick Donaldson. Sack Chat. Denver is 0-3, and they aren't panicking. We are still missing Kevin and Lyles. Not panicking. But you did get your butt whooped by a not the worst. I mean, the Blazers are the worst team in the West, right?
Probably, yeah.
So, people are just getting some flashbacks. That's all. Coming up next, we go back to the gridiron. Max Crosby clears the